Hello again. I am Blunty. Say, you remember that quote that gets battered around constantly about Starfield whenever anyone mentions the fact that for decades now Bethesda have earned a reputation for releasing unfinished, broken, buggy as shit games that very often the community has to come to the rescue of with massive community patches. The current Fallout 4 community patch, for example, still has to fix literally hundreds of bugs in the game, and that's after years of patching officially from Bethesda. So you know that quote from Matt Booty from Microsoft. People love to spit out when you bring this up, and it's like, oh, I've played Starfield for ages now, and it's the least buggy Bethesda game ever released. He said this in June, so a significant earlier version of the game compared to what we will be playing at release, and it was already the least buggy game. Least buggy Bethesda game, which I've had to remind people over and over and over again for a couple of months now. The least buggy Bethesda game is a meaningless phrase. It's like saying the least hot thermonuclear detonation, right? They're all hot enough to turn your bones to ash. The least hot one is still going to insta-kill you versus the most hot one. It's a relative term. It's meaningless in the context of standing underneath it. As to is the phrase least buggy Bethesda game meaningless in the context of just how massively buggy all of the other Bethesda games have been. All of them released in a catastrophically buggy way. My personal Fallout 4 playthrough was interrupted several times by soft lock bugs that stopped me from actually playing the game. I'm not talking about weird bugs where people's facial animation would wig out or their heads would turn around, horizontally 360 degrees. I think that was a New Vegas one, wasn't it? With the doc's head, it just went all the way around. Or dog meat gets stuck in some geometry and all that kind of crappy stuff. I'm talking game-breaking bugs that would have to force you to reload a save, in my case, about an hour and a half back, just to go back to the point where I did the thing that triggered the bug that would screw me over an hour and a half later. And I had several issues like that where I had to reload earlier saves because a bug was stopping me from playing the game or completing a quest or whatever it was. Okay, so least buggy is meaningless in comparison to any of that. But rather unusually today, we have some patch notes for a pre-release patch. We don't normally see patch notes for pre-release patches. We're not supposed to be seeing these ones either. Someone with a review code has leaked these out, basically. So we get a little insight into just how buggy Starfield still is. And again, Matt Booty called this the least buggy game in June. There will have been several patches and updates and fixes and hot fixes and all that sort of stuff since he said that, since he claimed it was the least buggy one. And now, 3 days before early access still, there are still major bugs, game-breaking bugs, being fixed or addressed or whatnot. So let's go through them. Spoiler alert, there are no true spoilers in this, but there are the names of some locations, some mission names, which are relatively vague. They're not going to, you can try and guess what the mission name means for the mission. So if you're really, really trying to stay, under the radar or even the softest, mildest spoilers, stop now. Suffice to say, it's a list containing several, what I would consider game-breaking bugs, or at least forced reload bugs, such as my Fallout 4 stuff. So from here on in, you've been warned. Again, it's relatively mild stuff. I don't think it'll ruin the game for anybody, but just in case, some people are extra sensitive about that or extra paranoid about that. So, Insider Gaming, this comes from, they've been given access to the bug fix list by somebody, breaking NDA. So, performance and stability fixes, it's to be expected on a pre-release patch thing, nothing too vital going on here. There was an issue with resuming and suspending the game on Xbox Series X and X. They've improved stability there, not fixed it, but just made it better. Fixed a rare crash that could occur when viewing the credits after completing the game, which could be an issue depending on when it auto-saves upon completing the game. You might have to do the ending again if it crashes during the credits, who knows. Fixed a crash that could appear when repeatedly loading saves inside of ships. So load up a save inside a ship more than once. That could crash the game. Just loading a save could crash the game. Various stability and performance improvements, yada, yada, yada. Visual fixes. So this is some classic Bethesda, visual bugginess, which is probably what they're best known for. Who remembers the swarms of T-posing knuckles scorched in Fallout 76? Sucked all the drama out of just all these A-posing scorches sliding around at you. Fixed an issue where sometimes hair would not appear on characters. So everyone would just have... what's the one where your hair falls? Alopecia? Or is that the medication for it? They all got the Asmongold disease where all their hair would fall out. Kind of sad they fixed that one. That would have made for some fantastic screenshots. Improved distant object appearance when transitioning to the surface of a planet. That's just pop-in crap, I guess. Addressed an issue that sometimes caused face animations to move abruptly. Again, classic Bethesda with screwed up facial animations. And again, I hope they haven't completely fixed that because we need some funny clips. Is it really a Bethesda game unless you can make a compilation of wacky, stupid animation face bugs? Fixed an issue where rarely in certain views while white flashing boxes could appear in the hand scanner. Fixed an issue that would cause an undesirable text to blend near the coastline. Fixed an issue that would cause textures to degrade unnecessarily on Xbox Series S. So most of that's fairly sort of standard pre-release stuff, just, refining stuff and fixing little issues where textures would wig out sometimes. That's nothing too dramatic there. Gameplay fixes. Fixed an issue that could cause companions to float in the air. Fixed an issue that could cause some ship modules to become misaligned. Fixed an issue that would prevent touchdown points from turning red in Ship Builder. Fixed an issue that could cause a player to appear incorrectly when equipping items. So just equipping an item would screw up your player, basically. That's classic Bethesda. Fallout 76 players again. That game was especially bad for those of you who didn't play it. Addressed an issue that could prevent the isolation skill from behaving as intended. Adjusted the distance a player is able to access this and store cargo in the ship. Fixed an issue that could sometimes cause a long delay on the press any button screen. Is that too long a delay? Comedy is delicate. Fixed quests. So there was a bunch of broken quests, but these are some of the more game-breaking stuff. Fixed an issue that could cause ship patrols not to appear for first to fight, first to die. So that would be a game-breaking bug. If the patrol ships don't appear, and the name of this quest suggests that it's a quest that involves fighting or dying or running away and stuff. If they don't appear, you can't complete that quest. So that's a game-breaking bug. Addressed a rare issue where the contraband scan would not occur, potentially preventing landing on New Atlantis. So New Atlantis, a controlled system, they would scan your ship for contraband. We know this from the trailers. It's not spoiler stuff. They talked about this in presentations and whatnot. So if they don't scan your ship, you can't be approved for landing, so you can't land on the planet. Again, game-breaking bug if you need to get to New Atlantis to actually turn in a quest. Side quest, main quest, whatever. If you can't land, that's it. Your game is done. Fixed an unlikely issue that could prevent landing on New Atlantis during deep cover. Another game-breaking bug where you just can't land on the planet you need to land in to turn in your quests. Fixed an issue that could prevent heat leeches from counting as killed after completing a Legacy Forged. One would presume Legacy Forged requires you to kill a number of heat leeches, and that breaks them from being counted in future quests or something. That's another game-breaking bug. If the game doesn't count certain things as being killed, then that could potentially break certain quest lines or progress or your ability to level up a particular skill that requires you to kill those things. Who knows? That's troubling. Fixed how a location would appear near a hidden Earth landmark. Fixed a rare issue that could potentially trap the player in the facility. So another soft-locking game bug. Get trapped inside something called the facility. Can't progress the game. You're toasted. Roll back your save. Hope you saved recently. Well, not too recently, though, because maybe you have to roll back to before you even went in there in the first place, or took up the mission. Who knows what causes that bug? Addressed an infrequent issue where a spatial ship didn't correctly appear for Radiant Quest, so another game-breaking bug. Presumably, the Radiant Quest includes taking something from or delivering something to a spatial ship, and if that doesn't appear, then you can't do that quest. So that I would consider another progress-halting bug. It is a Radiant quest, so not a main series quest, so it wouldn't necessarily ruin your game, but that might prevent you from picking up other Radiant quests. We don't know exactly how that works yet, so... Fixed an unlikely issue that could appear during the revelation, depending on how the player interacted with the emissary. That's pretty vague. Addressed an issue with the Demos Slim bottom ship module that is used on the Razor Leaf. Fixed a rare issue that could prevent companions from accompanying the player after no sudden move. So at a certain point, you complete a quest and all of a sudden your companions won't companion you anymore. Companion you. That's not how language works. You know that. Addressed a rare issue that can impact power from beyond. Who knows what that rare issue is? They didn't really specify. So, what's the count there? 4 or 5 pretty severe, potentially game-breaking bugs. All of this from a game that in June was already being called the least buggy game Bethesda has ever produced. These are some pretty standard Bethesda bugs by the sounds of things. Bits of missing player NPC characters, the player character being screwed up just by equipping items, facial animations wigging out, quests breaking because you can't progress them completely because certain things don't trigger or happen. All of these are really common triggers in various issues and bugs and softlock issues in Bethesda games. A lot of these sound very familiar to my Fallout 4 playthrough. So again, the least buggy game that Bethesda has ever published is worthless as a statement. The least hot thermonuclear explosion I've ever stood underneath. So maybe, just maybe, stop white knighting for a corporate entity that has a loose history with perfect honesty. I'm still really looking, don't get me wrong, I'm still super hyped on Starfield, but I'm going with my eyes open. Not only am I expecting bugs, and expecting bugs that probably won't get fixed very quickly, bugs that the community, modders, will probably have to fix for us, but I'm kind of also hoping for bugs as well, because part of the fun in a Bethesda game is experiencing these goofy, stupid, how are you this inept kind of bug brought to us by the Creation Engine. I don't know, it's Creation Engine 2.0. It's been upgraded. Yeah, but it's still the Creation Engine. It was never a good engine. Ever. Anyway, impromptu video done. I couldn't make the video I wanted to make today because of issues, and I have a part being delivered for a new computer build, yada, yada, yada. Stay tuned, thumb bell, ba ba da ba da ba da. Thank you, as always, to the patrons scrolling up above. I am Blunty, and I will catch you next time.